What will it take for it to stop mass shootings in America? A complete culture change. Probably the most true answer, but also the most unlikely. Maybe over another century, but definitely not immediate enough to prevent more death. If the Columbine school shooting was a person, it'd be old enough to vote, drink, serve in the military, and would have graduated college. It happened 23 years ago. And yet here we are. Forgive me for believing that nothing will change in our lifetime. Remember how everybody blamed that shit on the Matrix just having come out? What a joke. At the time, my school in California responded by banning trench coats. There were 2 kids in the entire school that wore trench coats, and they had worn them for years. As you can imagine, these kids were already prone to bullying, and now the school administration was targeting them. It was so ridiculously stupid. I grew up in South Africa and went to some pretty crap schools filled with some of the dregs of society. We had underpaid teachers who didn't really care, etc. I was skateboard kid who was seen as a freak due to skating and liking metal and other music. I took my fair share of beatings from the bullies at school and outside of school, but I never ever had a desire to walk into school and murder the bullies or teachers or anyone else for that matter. I think the problem in America is much bigger than a weird kid going mad. It's got to be societal for anyone to harbor that much hate for life. Just my honest opinion and from my perspective. I want to know how an 18-year-old gets in the frame of mind where he wants to shoot up an elementary school. Also want to know how he got in. I can't get in my kid's school without at least getting buzzed in. Edit, I see in the news this morning he shot his way in. Jesus. I work at an elementary school. Not all of them have fence gates. Anyone could walk into my school from the wide open front or through the entrance behind the school that goes into a neighborhood. Also, my school doesn't have big buildings. All of the classrooms open right to the outside. Nothing stops someone from walking right into my classroom other than a locked door. This setup is quite common all around California. The fact that this needs to even be a thing is wild to me as a Swedish person. I walk past my old elementary school and high school sometimes and they're just normal houses with a playground with a small picket fence around them. Always have been. The fact that anyone even needs to build a school with safety systems or escape routes is unfathomable to my mind. I had a friend from the US and unsuccessfully tried to convince her that my university in Switzerland doesn't need strong security, metal detectors, etc. to be safe. And that it's fine that the building is open to everyone. She wouldn't believe me, despite there having never been any issues in the institution's history. Edit, I got way too many replies to reply to everyone individually, but I just wanted to mention that I'm OFC not making a comment on what I personally believe to be the norm in the US, for example all schools having metal detectors. I am merely stating what my friend believed to be an appropriate level of security at a school, i.e. my Swiss university being open to the public not being safe enough. It's clear to me that her opinion doesn't stand for everyone in the US. Metal detectors in schools is also some absurd dystopian shit to me. My old schools just has, I don't know, doors. I mean, I guess they lock them at night and stuff, but for the rest of the day kids just come and go. America is wild. Lived in America my entire time in school. Never had a metal detector or a locked fence or gate. They would keep the back doors locked and had an attendant at the front door, but that's it. University had no locked doors, security occasional patrolling, and we were allowed to carry knives. Keep in mind that America is basically 50 countries in a trench coat and situations vary widely by state. That is very true and a very good point. They used to hand out free personal-sized pizza coupons for reading books when I was in elementary school. Maybe we can do something like that? They still do, bookitprogram.com. It is not anywhere near as big a deal now as it was in the 90s. That shit was the highlight of my childhood. My friends always lied on theirs and I lied that I lied, but really I do love reading and thought my pizzas were well earned. In the mid-late 90s most kids used accelerated reader programs on a computer, so you had to pass the quiz to get the points for the Book It pizzas. Damn, never lied once. In retrospect, free tiny pizzas seem pretty damn harmless. It was a genius marketing ploy. Get the kid in for a free personal pan and you know damn well you're not going to go to Pizza Hut and not get cheese sticks at the very minimum. Shit. Play with my mama. We got that pizza I earned and that was a wrap. Lamau same. For us we'd sometimes get coupons for Fazoli's. A Italian food chain that used to be popular here in Florida, and damn if we didn't get just that spaghetti bowl lol. Nothing changed the last time children barely older than toddlers were shot. Nothing will change this time. Was there another shooting in America on top of the Buffalo one? Is that why there are suddenly all these AskReddit questions? You got answers about the one most recently, but we have also had a shooting at a Taiwanese church, seemingly gang-related violence near the nicer area of Chicago, and now this. It's been 9 days. Elementary school shooting, third deadliest in America's history, has happened in the past few days as well. Nothing that anyone is actually willing to do, obviously. People want things to be better, they're just unwilling to sacrifice anything personally to deal with it. California, for instance, considered one of the most liberal states in the country, tried setting up government housing to address homelessness. But the second people realized those homeless people would now be living in units down the street from their homes, they conveniently changed their minds and decided this isn't the best way to deal with the issue lol. It's unsurprising to a certain extent. This country is founded upon concepts of individualism and personal liberty rather than communalism, where me and my success are seemingly more important than society as a whole. People are too miserable due to so many things, some are self-inflicted, some are not, to actually be willing to do anything about it. Emo. When stopping mass shootings can be monetized. Good answer, because only thing that makes the world go round, especially here in the US, is the rich get richer. First and foremost, stop treating it like a soap opera. The news channels detail and go over so much on these shootings, it isn't reporting, it's entertainment. It's become so mainstream that at this point I just shrug and go, oh, another one. Whatever. I'll hear about it for another few months, then some other kid will glorify it, cause TV and do it himself because he needs the attention, and monkey see monkey do. It's obvious how to get that attention from as many people as possible all at once. The problem is much deeper than this and takes people more qualified than I to solve, but this is where it starts. Edit. I'd like to clarify that my stance isn't some total media censorship on the matter. Simply that the focus has to stop being 99% on the shooter and thus further inspiring more violence. The 24 hours news cycle is one of the worst things to happen to the news media and reporting in general, in my opinion. Having to fill all that airtime with programming lead to the over-reporting and flood of opinionated bullshit we see on news networks. 24-hour news was definitely one of the worst things. However, clickbait news nowadays made it a million times worse. Extremes being presented as facts with not a care in the world if it's bullshit or not. Literally, like 99% of news media is complete dogshit nowadays. The 24 hours news cycle is a big part of why the clickbait has gotten this bad. The 24 hours news cycle made things even more about ratings, and when everything is about ratings and ad revenue, networks are going to do whatever they can get away with to generate that engagement, leading directly to clickbait and these hot take based opinion programs. Agreed. Plus I always forget about Howard Stern's movie, Private Parts. People for some reason will pay more attention to things they hate rather than things they like because of liking to be outraged or are masochistic or something, which I could totally see causing people to crack more often nowadays. The children of important people will have to fall victim. They don't care if us riff-raff die off. We've all just been cannon fodder all this time besides. If there is one thing I learned from COVID is that a bunch of politicians won't care until it personally affects them. And even when it does, they will not work to actually fix the problem, they will just find a way to insulate, protect, or exempt themselves from it. Impossible. The amount of guns in the country, plus rude individualistic society, plus rampant access to the internet breeding highly radicalized echo chambers, plus media sensationalism, plus poor financial and mental health opportunities, disaster. I'm all for doing something new, but there is no clear-cut answer. Einstein couldn't solve this one. America has this weird culture of self-hatred and people who enjoy being angry about things. I'm at a loss to explain it. Politics as entertainment happened. These hosts need to fill hours on end of their radio shows with something, and actual politics is really boring. Do you think you are going to get millions of people watch you debate the intricacies of corn subsidies or line items in the NIH budget? Nope, you are only going to get people to tune in if you are entertaining and create a good villain. That's the level of discourse in this country.